With Tamaktai Jun's forces encroaching on Alkeni, it's time for our heroes to flee. Yet before she departs alongside Baba, Jason Momoa, Kofun, Haniwa, and Paris, as well as a trio of warrior comrades, Magra makes sure to grab a small pouch that she's been hiding in her home's secret floorboard compartment. Kofun also decides to take something along on this trip, Gether, whom he abducts at knife point and drags into the forest. Always the most ruthless of the bunch, Haniwa tells her brother that Gether deserves to die for his attempts to throw them to the Witchfinder General's wolves, but Kofun, intent on proving that we're not that kind of tribe, instead knocks him out, thereby allowing him to crawl back home once he's awakened. Tamaktai Jun isn't happy he's once again failed to grab Haniwa and Kofun, and expresses that frustration by making Alkeni's inhabitants kneel before him, until proven otherwise, you're all witches, and savagely murdering Bo Lion's mom. He then resumes his pursuit, which is complicated by the fact that Baba has made advanced preparations for the possibility of an invasion, and need to escape, by building a big raft-like boat, and, now, he's piloted his crew out onto the river. In a world where everyone's hearing is finely tuned, even the subtle creaking of Baba's boat is a dead giveaway, and Tamaktai Jun's forces quickly and brutally lay siege to the craft. This results in a skirmish most notable for Baba slicing a man's throat while quietly lurking in the water, and the untimely death of two of Baba's most trusted allies. At least Gether, who's rejoined Tamaktai Jun on the riverbank, doesn't live to see another backstabbing day, because at the conclusion of the melee, Haniwa shoots him with an arrow, and Tamaktai Jun, after learning that catching up to Baba will be a challenge, finishes him off. Tamaktai Jun then does what he does best, sends a message to Queen Kane informing her of his latest failure, which disappoints her but truly infuriates the royal cabinet, which relays that the populace is tired of this fruitless crusade. In response to this groundswell of opposition, she reminds them that the royal constitution says she's in charge until she dies, and I'm not feeling unwell. That doesn't dissuade Lord Dune, who gives Kane a figurative slap across the face by claiming that her hunt for Haniwa and Kofun is less about squashing the Vision heresy than about her misery over Jurlameryl's departure. They say we are a nation governed by a broken heart, he asserts, which cuts deep because it's true, even if, skeptics be damned, Haniwa and Kofun do have the magical power of sight. Out of immediate danger, Kofun reads Jurlameryl's final message. It states that they're to follow the river to the Great Lavender Road, and onward to the House of Enlightenment, where they'll build a new kingdom that will stand as a bright shining light in a world of darkness. Magra has had enough of Jurlameryl's prophecy, however, and holds a vote about whether to follow the river further toward Jurlameryl or to set up a camp. Change thus wins out over stasis, at least on the river. Back at the palace, Kane's handmaiden Neri overhears the royal cabinet plotting to assassinate Kane. She reports this to the queen, who subsequently visits the treacherous Lady Anne and Lord Dune, who present her with a rare, newly captured songbird that will only croon its tune when sitting in one's hand. The bird is, actually, a deadly spider. Kane doesn't fall for this tricking the blind ruse, killing both of them with the aid of her servant while declaring, I won't die for this city. This city will die for me. Baba's troop stops for the night on the shore. Haniwa tells Magra that she hopes Jurlameryl's House of Enlightenment will be a beacon of hope where the past is remembered and that knowledge can be used to improve the present. Magra wonders where her place in this glorious kingdom will be. To her mind, she'd be the blind queen alongside a king, prince, and princess who can see, and Haniwa tries to convince her. Before anyone can search for their belongings, Kofun and Haniwa spot a shadowy figure amidst the forest trees. It's almost certainly Jurlameryl. At the same time, Kane hears from Neri that protests have sprouted up outside the palace, over the assassination of the cabinet lords. She reacts by shutting down the machines that power the dam, causing the water to stop flowing to the river, and the palace to crumble, all as she departs on her own journey to find Jurlameryl. With the machinery switched off and the dam ready to burst, episode 5 begins with Queen Kane whispering her goodbyes to a statue of her father. With the water rising, she escapes on a horse-drawn metal carriage and races away, just as the dam completely bursts and water pours out. Meanwhile, further down the river, Paris speaks to Magra about her motives, hinting at the darkness growing within her. In turn, she tells the elder to hold her hand and pray with her for the safety of Baba Voss and the others. As they close their eyes, Baba Voss opens his and listens to the sound of gentle humming with Kofun and Haniwa. As they creep forward, they find a strange base, seemingly home to scavengers, leading Haniwa to head off alone and investigate. A scream breaks the silence as Kofun and Baba Voss rush to find an unconscious Haniwa on the floor. While tending to her, a man arrives and ambushes them, prompting a fight to break out. However, as it turns out, he has the familiar symbol engraved on his chest and he can also see as well. Further down the river, Queen Kane laments the simple country life, but she soon learns her driver has been killed. Beginning to panic, she grabs the knife hidden in his pocket, but before she can use it, finds herself ambushed by 2 assassins. They grab her arms and take her away, as the camera pans out and we see her advisor has been killed too. Meanwhile, Baba Voss and the others contemplate what to do with the scavenger, given he may be tied to Gerlameril. After some back and forth debating, Magra decides that, in order for them to build an army of the silent, he must show his allegiance to them. Afterward, Haniwa takes him aside and reassures him that he's now part of their family. Queen Kane is taken to a village and immediately berates them for her poor treatment. The elder steps forward and assesses her hands, deciding she's perfect for what he has planned. Tying her up, he begins discussing the silkworm. With the tide out, Baba Voss and the others find themselves stuck and forced to wait it out until morning. However, a horse rider, followed by the Witchfinder General, force them away by foot and into the depths of the forests nearby. While Magra and the others hide, Baba Voss and Kofun team up and start taking out the guards, one by one. Midway through the skirmish, Paris calls out as Magra slips away and heads straight for the Witchfinder General. Once there, Magra jangles her jewelry, prompting the Witchfinder to gasp and drop to his knees. All hail Princess Magra of the House of Kane. The episode then closes out, leaving us with numerous unanswered questions. Why didn't the guards in the forest rush toward Baba Voss and the others upon hearing their voices? What consequence will the dam breaking have on the rest of the world? And why didn't Magra use her royal status beforehand to prevent the original village from being destroyed?